value. And then the question is...
Hold on. If I started off the year and agreed to work the year for 6 Bitcoin, I was making 120 grand. Now I'm making, what, 50 grand. So as a store of value for my labor, the value of Bitcoin just got cut more in half. So it ain't storing any value for me.
Yes, it has, because if you started off last year with Bitcoin, you would have started at $900, and you still would be 10x up. Now, I look at your board over there. I don't see any stocks that are 10x up since last year.
Shit! What's going on, guys? Ryan here at the Crypto Fiend Studios, bringing you guys the hottest, the latest, and everything crypto related news. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of a daily update. We're going to be looking at the market, the price movement, as well as some news revolving around cryptocurrencies. So if you guys have been keeping an eye on the market, which I'm sure you all have been doing, you know that we've been having a drastic pullback lately. Now we'll talk about that in a little bit of why, but first off, the price movement of Bitcoin. Now, if you guys watched my video from a couple days ago where I talked about the price movement of Bitcoin, I was talking about how we were really trending sideways, having a little bit of a flagging movement on the 100-day. Now, we had this for a little over a week, and I talked about how if we trend on this a little bit too much longer, we are most likely going to fall through it. And that's what happened. We fell through the 100-day. I also said we could possibly get support on the previous resistance levels, but we didn't. We got a little support right here, but not much. And we broke down all the way to the 200-day. Now, on the bright side, we broke through the 200-day a little bit, but we got support on the 200-day, and we're beginning to work our way back up. Now, this whole thing right here is mainly due to FUD after FUD after FUD after FUD of fake news around cryptocurrencies. Now, first off, we have India talking about how they're regulating cryptocurrencies, and then all these news this news comes out that India is banning cryptocurrencies. That stuff affects the market. Now, I personally think that some of these countries are definitely going to be manipulating the market in the sense that they can definitely come out and really what they say, the words they say are going to affect the market. And I'm not saying India did that, because they didn't. They said that they're regulating cryptocurrencies, but the news took it as that they're banning cryptocurrencies. But the news in these countries can definitely affect the price movement of cryptocurrencies by scaring people. Now, when the news comes out and says, oh, India's banning cryptocurrencies, all that kind of stuff, first off, the first ones to go are going to be the whales. Those are the people with billions of dollars in cryptocurrencies that are going to either hear the news before anyone else or pull out instantly, and that's going to affect the market. And then after that, all the smaller investors are going to pull out as well, because they want to catch their gains, or they're just scared and they're flooding into this news, and they're going to pull out as well. And that ends in the result that we see right here. Now, on the bright side, we are starting to work our way back up. Hopefully, we can definitely hit the 100 days soon, but that's where we're at right now. Now, when it comes to FUDing into cryptocurrency, I want to strongly emphasize this to you guys. Do not be that person that gives into this bullcrap news, because you people that FUD into this fake news, now I understand you hear it on the news, just wait, be patient, figure out what's actually true, if it's true or not, what's going on, and just wait, because if you're the person that does FUD in with all the other people, you are contributing to the effect of the market. Now, I know you might not have $1 billion pulling out of the market, but every little bit counts. And you have to realize that we are still in the infant phase of cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies practically just started. Now, we had Bitcoin for years now and Ethereum for a couple years now, but cryptocurrencies as a whole, as a community, just started. All these projects just started. You have Cardano. Cardano is not even anything yet. Cardano is still a project. You have EOS. You have IOTA. You have all these companies. Tron, Lisk. You have all these companies that aren't even really anything yet, that they're just starting with an idea that we have to make come true. And you guys just have to be patient, hodl onto your portfolios, because you don't want to be that person that let's look at Bitcoin for an example. You don't want to be that person that holds a cryptocurrency and then you see it going nowhere, or you give in a FUD and you sell, at, say, May 7th of 2017. You don't want to be that person that goes, oh, I'm selling because I see fake news, or I want to get out of this before it crashes at $1,500, and then you wake up the next day and it's $20,000. You don't want to be that person. So my advice to you guys, hodl onto your portfolios. Now, I highly think long-term investments is the best route to go. Now, don't get me wrong, I like short-term, I like day trading. I think it's definitely, if you can do it, go for it, but it's definitely a little more riskier because you can definitely affect your portfolio a lot more by messing up and all that kind of stuff. So I think long-term holding is the way to go, but just wait, be patient, because for a perfect example, all these cryptocurrencies are just starting, like I said a couple minutes ago. A perfect example right here is Ethereum. January 12th of 2017, let me get back on it. We'll do January 9th of 2017. Ethereum was $10.67. $10 a year ago, a little over a year ago today. And it's about $1,000 right now. It hit an all-time high of way over $1,000. So that's what I'm trying to show to you guys, that in a year from now, all these projects could be where Ethereum's at, be where Bitcoin's at. So you just have to be patient. Be patient. Don't give in to the news, because the news is always going to be there. They're going to always be scaring people. That's what the news is. You don't go on Fox News to watch happy things. They don't show happy things. All they do is show sad and depressing crap. That's what the news is for. So just my advice to you guys, keep an eye on the news, but most of the time don't even believe it, because they're the ones that, in the end, you're the one that decides on what your portfolio is going to be, what your long-term decision is going to be on cryptocurrencies. And if you believe in something, take it, because if you don't take it, I'm telling you guys right now, you are going to regret it greatly. I am telling you. So if you are ambitious on something, if you really believe in something, whatever anyone says, if your parents say don't do it, if an investor says don't do it, it's too risky, don't listen to them. Do what you believe in, because in the end, you're going to be the one winning. Because I'm sure back in the day when Bitcoin was even $100, everyone said that's not going to succeed, and look at where it's at right now. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not at its all-time highs, but that's what markets are. They have the ups and the downs, and you have to be ready for the downs. Not everything's going to be bright, shiny, and green all the time. You have to be ready to accept the red side of things. So we are going to see this in the course of 5 years from now. We're going to have the time in the market where things drop drastically. You just have to be prepared for it and understand that things will get better. So that's my rant to you guys for today. So now that we got all the sad crap out of the way, let's look at some incredible prices on some of these cryptocurrencies. Now, like I said earlier, the majority of these cryptocurrencies are going to be up greatly on the day. That's mainly due to money flooding back into cryptos. So if you see a cryptocurrency up 30-40%, that's just because money is beginning to come back into it. So it's not necessarily a bad thing to look at those ones that are still up greatly, on the day, because all these cryptocurrencies are still down greatly from their all-time highs. So perfect examples of cryptocurrencies to keep an eye on and consider investing in at this time while everything's very low still is Cardano. You have Cardano at 44 cents. You have Litecoin at $145. Neo, now with Neo, I would have liked it to pull back a little bit more, maybe to like $100, which I think would have been an excellent buying point. But I think it's still a great buying point at $121 right now. For the long term, we also have Tron. Tron's at 4 cents. Now, the interesting thing about Tron is Tron tends to be that currency that people like to pump up due to hype and news. So that's one to keep an eye out for a potential swing trade or even a long-term holder if you are interested in Tron. We also have Lisk. Now, the interesting thing about Lisk is through this whole bloodbath, Lisk really kept its gains. The majority of the time, it stayed above the $20 range, and at one point a couple days ago, it got all the way to like $32 due to being added onto a new exchange. So I'm very surprised by this, that Lisk is keeping its gains so greatly. Now, Lisk is having its relaunch on February 12th, which is in 9 days from now. So that's definitely a reason why Lisk is keeping its gains, because people are hodling the crap out of Lisk for the relaunch, where it could definitely have some price movement. So that's one to keep an eye on. We also have vechain at $5.50. Great time. We have Nano. Now, Nano is Rayblox. Rayblox was just rebranded to Nano. No, Nano is keeping its gains as of right now. Not greatly, but it's keeping its gains from its rebranding. So that's a good thing to see, that people are accepting the rebranding. They're not dumping it because it had a rebranding. So that's a good sign for Rayblox, for Nano, I guess. I like the name Rayblox better other than Nano. That's just my opinion. I thought Rayblox was a great name. But we also have Icon. Now with Icon, they just recently announced a partnership with a company worth over $1 billion. But that didn't really affect the price that much, as you can see. I mean, it affected the price, but not in a good way. But they also did announce that they're having a little bit of a delay on their launch of the company, so that could definitely be why we're seeing a pullback. But that's one you want to keep an eye on. The ones that have the great pullbacks like this are the ones you want to keep an eye on and maybe consider adding to your portfolio before they have their company relaunch and take off. So that's something to think about. We also, I'm not going to go over every single one, so if I don't go over one that you really like or you're interested in, don't think I don't like it. I'm just not going to go over all of them for obvious reasons. There's 1,500. But we have Binance Token. Binance Token is $9.76 right now. Now, I know it's the coin that you use on the Binance exchange to trade and get 50% off on the fees. But as we get money starting to come back into cryptocurrencies, people are going to go to Binance because Binance is hands down the best exchange out there for altcoins. So people are going to start going on to Binance, purchasing the Binance token to get 50% off on those discounts, on those fees, and you're definitely going to see the Binance price go up in value. We also have Verge 6 cents. I think that's a great buying point. Walton Chain is about 40% of a pullback from its all-time highs. That's one to keep an eye on. What else do we got? We got Ethos, $4.42. Not bad, not bad. We have Dent. Dent is up 31%. Now, Dent is one of my top 4 picks for February, and look at it where it's at right now. I think this is because everyone keeps watching my video and seeing me talking about Dent, so they're buying into Dent. Well, I don't know. But, I mean, it is still around 3 cents, so from its all-time highs, it's greatly discounted. I believe its all-time high was 11 cents. 11 cents? 11 cents. So its all-time high was 11 cents. So right now is a perfect time to get into Dent. Now it is up 31% on the day, so maybe wait for a little bit of a pullback to get that perfect buying point. But for the long term, 3 cents or 2 cents, yeah, about 3 cents is a perfect time to get in to Dent. We have Power Ledger, 73 cents, good time. Request Network, 34 cents. We have practically everything. I wish I just had $5 million to invest so I can get every single crypto on the board, every single solid concept crypto. We have QuantStamp, 29 cents. Great time. We had this little bit of a dip. See, as you can see on the charts, every single crypto had this little dip yesterday, or it dipped a little bit. That's pretty cool to see. Every single one had a little dip, where it hit its bottom. So that's definitely something cool to see. But we have QuantStamp at 29 cents. Substratum. Now, with Substratum, this kind of breaks my heart a little bit to see Substratum at 77 cents because Substratum is a large amount in my portfolio, one of my largest holdings in my portfolio. So it's kind of sad to see Substratum at 77 cents. But at the same time, that's a perfect, great buying point. Now, I believe yesterday hit an all-time low. Not an all-time low, but a low of 53 cents. So that was hands down the best time to get in. But still, 78 cents I think is a great time as well, considering they are going to be having their beta release soon. And when that happens, the sky's the limit. Who even knows? I can't. Who knows? We also have vechain. Now, the interesting thing about vechain is that they are such a great currency, a cryptocurrency. They're such a great company, and they have such a strong community to back them up. And they're very active with their community, always getting feedback, communicating with their community, all that kind of stuff. But Vercoin tends to be that cryptocurrency that's not very flashy. They don't have that crazy price movement that all these other currencies have, like every other currency on the board. Vercoin doesn't explode in value that much, and it's still, in my opinion, very, very undervalued at $141 million in market cap. Wow, very undervalued, especially how long they've been in the crypto space. Not super long, but pretty long. Since 2014, they were around 32 cents. 7 cents in January of 2014. That's awesome. So they hit an all-time high of around $10. So look at this. Perfect time to buy. The last time they were around this price range was back in October. So to see Vercoin in the $3 range is very, very surprising. Definitely the time to get into Vercoin if you are interested in Vercoin. But Vercoin is definitely a long-term holder. You're not going to see crazy price movement in Vercoin anytime soon, but you never know. You never know. It's the crypto space. It's completely unpredictable. So what else do we got? We have Storm, 5 cents. Good potential, good potential. We have Utrust, 40 cents. Now, with Utrust just got released onto the market not too long ago. I believe December 31st, December 29th. It got released on the market at 20 cents. And we had this crazy run up all the way to $1.40. So we were definitely in need of a pullback. You always need a cryptocurrency to have a pullback when it has a crazy run up like that for healthy growth. Now, we did have a little bit of a great too much of a pullback in my opinion, but of course it's the market just pulling back, so it's gonna happen. But right now at 40 cents, I still think this is a good buying point because in the next year or so, when Utrust gets their product out there, the sky's the limit. I did a review on Utrust not too long ago. If you guys want to go check it out, why I really like Utrust. I know I don't usually do biased review. I don't do anything biased really. But that one review is a little biased because I really like Utrust. I think they're a great concept, and if they can give on their product, they're gonna do great, hands down. We also have Vibe. Vibe is at 54 cents right now. Now Vibe is gonna have their Super Bowl commercial tomorrow, so definitely keep an eye on Vibe for tomorrow. Is it gonna affect the price movement of Vibe? I don't know. It could. In the market that we're at right now, maybe. Who knows? You'll just have to wait till tomorrow. Especially, it depends on what the commercial is, how they show their product, if people are going to know that it's even a cryptocurrency, what even goes on in the commercial. So just wait till tomorrow to see what happens with Vibe. So that's that. The majority of the market still down greatly. It's slowly recovering. We kind of just got to give it a week or so to see where things go. But some news that I found. Now, I found this article, this video, of this guy named Ran Nunair, and he has an interview with. Roller coaster day for crypto. Let me click off that real fast. He has an interview with these news anchors talking about cryptocurrencies, mainly talking about Bitcoin and the price movement as of right now. And I thought it was very interesting how kind of the news anchors, you can tell they're very biased and they're kind of disrespectful, considering he's very respectful in the interview and he's spitting facts at them. He's spitting straight fire at their face, and they don't even know like what to do really. Now it's kind of like you can't really like tell unless you really pay attention. So we're gonna watch it and then we'll talk about it after. All right.
Roller coaster day for cryptocurrencies in what has been a wild week, losing $125 billion in total market cap on fears of regulatory crackdowns and perhaps price manipulation. Bitcoin at one point today was down nearly 15%, dropping below 7,700. Ron Neuner is the founder of On-Chain Capital, the host of CNBC Africa's Crypto Trader, which is the only show out there devoted to cryptocurrencies. He's also, by the way, an investor in cryptocurrencies. Ron, great to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
Great to have you in EC. In terms of the price swings that we've seen, you actually said that you thought we'd see 7,500. We did, basically, and we bounced. What was it about that level, and do you think that will hold?
Look, I've been tracking Bitcoin since last year, and we went up from 7,500 up to 20,000 in anticipation of the futures. The futures were kind of like a non-event. The event was a momentum play where people started to get into cryptocurrencies. So you had these people, these retail investors, getting into cryptocurrencies for possibly all the wrong reasons. They got into it because of the fear of missing out. They got into it because they wanted to get in to make the money without understanding the technology. And the market went up. But then the market started to come down. And then everyone who didn't understand the technology turned around and said, hold on, what did we actually back here?
So is 7,500 the level at which you think a lot of weak hands, so to speak, got in, and so now they're shaken out, so 7,500 is that support?
I think they got in pretty high, but I think between 10,000 and 7,500 was the exit point for them. And I think that what you can see now is that the market's starting to recover a little bit. So I'm expecting the market to hover here for a little bit nervous, and then I'm expecting some kind of something to bring up a green candle, and that will start momentum back up again.
It's been a terrible week for Bitcoin in general. You've said that you believe Bitcoin is a store of value. Is it still a store of value if it goes down with every other asset class? It's obviously being seen as any other risk asset out there, which is being sold off, whether it be stocks or bonds or gold.
It's a store of value, but it's a new store of value, and there's not mass market adoption yet. And as we get mass market adoption, then we can expect for it to become the universal store of value. But I always say, if we're going out to run a marathon, we've just parked our car and picked up the goodie bag. We haven't even got to the start line of cryptocurrencies.
It's true.
The technology isn't ready to go mainstream yet. It's very hard to open an account. It's unscalable. So yes, there is a new digital gold, a new digital store of value. I think Bitcoin is the store of value, but the game hasn't even started yet.
I wanted to ask you, do you think governments ultimately will sit by and watch Bitcoin rival their currencies, the euro, the yen, the dollar?
I think when you start discussing currencies, that becomes different. And I think in time, yes, governments are going to have to accept a new form of digital currencies, and who knows what that will do. But I don't believe that Bitcoin today, as it stands, is a currency. I believe that today, Bitcoin is actually a store of value. And then the question is...
Hold on. If I started off the year and agreed to work the year for 6 Bitcoin, I was making 120 grand. Now I'm making, what, 50 grand? So as a store of value for my labor, the value of Bitcoin just got cut more in half. So it ain't storing any value for me.
Yes, it has, because if you started off last year with Bitcoin, you would have started at $900, and you still would be 10x up. Now,
yeah, baby.
I don't see any stocks that are 10x up since last year. So it just depends on a time frame. You've picked the worst 30 days that we've seen in Bitcoin's 2-year history.
Store of value doesn't cut my salary in half in a year.
To be fair, gold is viewed as a store of value, and that price fluctuates as well. Maybe
I don't think as much as that.
Not as much as that.
I think a store of value has a certain consistency.
We got to leave it there.
Debate continues.
All right, so as you can see in that video, that first off, he's talking about how this whole trend is kind of happening right now with cryptocurrencies in general, but they were mainly talking about Bitcoin. How what happened is when we were working our way up to 20K, a lot of small investors, people that didn't even know what Bitcoin was jumping into Bitcoin, not knowing what it was. So they were jumping in and trying to not miss out, trying to catch the train before it exploded to 50K or whatever. And when they started seeing that it was finally having a little bit of a correction, dropping down, people got scared, they started pulling back, and that's exactly what we're seeing right now. He talks about what we're going to be seeing in the future, that he thinks we're going to be hovering around this level for a little bit, but we'll definitely have a little bit of a confirmation to get us back into steady growth. What I thought was very interesting about the news anchors is that you could tell in their voice, how they were looking around, how they were acting. You could tell that they were very biased. Now, the one woman seemed a little more optimistic on it, but the two gentlemen, you could tell they did not like Bitcoin. They don't like their fiat currency being messed with, especially the one guy talking about how if I was handed 6 Bitcoin for a year's worth of labor and now it's worth half of that. Well, yeah, the guy even said if you started a year ago when it was $1,000, you'd be sitting on way more than 60K. So the news anchor targeted the one section of the market where Bitcoin was having a drastic pullback. They weren't looking at the full picture of the growth of Bitcoin as a whole and cryptocurrencies as a whole. So I just thought that was very interesting how you could really tell that they were being biased on cryptocurrencies, that they don't like it, as well as how how they think that the governments are really going to affect the market. Now, this next article I have for you guys is based around security of cryptocurrencies. I'm not going to read the article to you guys. I'm just going to sum up what this whole article is talking about. So pretty much this guy named Grumpy Nidus, as he's known on Reddit, came out talking about the importance of security and protecting your cryptocurrencies in the space. Now, this is something that I kind of think gets overlooked a lot in the crypto space, especially by smaller investors that are just getting in and stuff. They don't know how to really protect themselves. Security is a huge key in the crypto space, especially when there's no like central banks or anything holding your money and you can get refunds and stuff like that. You are your own bank. You holding your cryptocurrencies, you are your own bank. If anything happens, there's no one you can go to for help. That's it. So keeping your cryptocurrency safe is key. Now, this article talks about how recently a lot of people, a lot of big investors have been getting held at gunpoint, getting kidnapped and stuff for their cryptocurrencies because they're worth so much nowadays. But it's also talking about the best ways to really store your cryptocurrencies, as well as what you should do, all the security features you should be doing to make sure you're the most secure as possible. So first off, hands down, the best way to store your cryptocurrencies is going to be on cold storage. So that's going to be like a Ledger Nano S, any form of cold storage that's not connected to the internet, so no one can get access to it. That's hands down the best way to store your cryptocurrencies. Now, you can get like a Ledger Nano S for around $200. I know it's $200, but it's definitely a good investment for the long term. So you can keep everything off the internet. It's like a USB drive. You can store it anywhere to keep it secure in a safe or whatever you want. Also, online wallets that I think are very secure, in my personal opinion, are going to be the MetaMask ERC20 wallet. I think is a great wallet, very safe, as well as I do like the Exodus wallet, but in the past it has been broken into, so that's something to consider. But it really depends on your cryptocurrency that you are invested in. Now, not every cryptocurrency is going to be able to be added onto a Ledger Nano S. So if you are invested in a cryptocurrency, look at what wallets are for that cryptocurrency. If that cryptocurrency has its own wallet, use it, because most likely it's going to be secure. But definitely consider into cold storage for the long-term holding. Also, the majority of these wallets are going to give you seeds. These are going to be 12-word phrases, usually 12-word phrases that are the access to your wallet. For any reason, if you lose your password, forget your password, this 12-word phrase is access to your wallet and on any computer. So say your desktop breaks, someone spills coffee on it and it gets destroyed. In order to access your wallet, you have to have that 12-word phrase. So what you definitely need to do whenever creating a wallet, write down that 12-word phrase on a piece of paper, whether you want to split the paper up so you store 6 words in one place and 6 words in another, or store them all in one place. Just make sure that the 12-word phrase is written down on paper, safe somewhere, in case you, for any reason, you ever lose it. Also, this article, again, it's talking about how people are being held at gunpoint for their cryptocurrencies. So the best thing you can do to really prevent that, and I'm sure this is mainly just happening to large investors, not the day-to-day investors, but in the long term, we are all going to be millionaires. It's going to happen. When that time comes, security is going to be key. Now, I'm sure everything will be greatly more advanced by then, but it's still going to be key. So your best bet when it comes to preventing yourselves from being out there is just don't talk to people about how much money you're making in cryptocurrencies, the amount of cryptocurrencies you have, all that kind of stuff, because that's how people are going to get interested in you and potentially hack you, rob you, all that kind of stuff. So that's just definitely something you have to keep an eye on, is just keep it to yourself. It's definitely nice to talk about how you're making so much money, but time will show when you're making money. When you're driving that Lambo down the road and you see that girl that said no to you in high school for that kiss that you wanted, when she sees you driving in that Lambo, she's gonna know you made it. So just remember, until then, don't talk about how much you're making. Don't talk about, you could talk about what you're investing in. Don't talk about how much you have, all that kind of stuff, because that's how you get yourself out there and could potentially make yourself lose all your cryptocurrencies. So that's my rant for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave comments below whether it's a question, your personal opinion. There's no bias on this channel. And if you're not subscribed to the community, do it! Just do it!